Adobe Acrobat, your team's home base. Collaborate within a shared PDF space. You've got your docs, your plans, your specs, and then invite the crew to build what's next. They talk up the teamwork. Here's an updated render. They think that this design could be a contender. And when somebody wonders what's the next step, AI helps you finish the rest. Bolts are tight, now your plan's refined. Run a smoother business when you're all aligned. Do that with Acrobat. Learn more at adobe.com/do that with Acrobat.
Pepsi Prebiotic Cola in original and cherry vanilla. That Pepsi taste you love with no artificial sweeteners and 3 grams of prebiotic fiber. Pepsi Prebiotic Cola. Unbelievably Pepsi.
Hi, it's Dave here, and this is my wife, Cathy.
Hello.
And this is Dave Corkery and Cathy Cullen's The Cinemile. And today we are going to... Wait, no, it's the podcast where we record our walk home from the movie.
Is.
It's amazing how delicate that intro
It's
is.
so delicate,
If I change one slight thing, I forget what it
Sometimes
is.
we have to do it like 5 times because we can't remember it.
But no, this is the first take and we're keeping it.
Yeah.
We're walking right now to the cinema to watch Lee Cronin's The Mummy, which is... a film by Lee Cronin, who is an Irish director. This is his third horror film.
Like Martin Scorsese doesn't get his name in movie titles.
It's wild to me. And
It's
I looked up how and why this happened. Because, I mean, fair play to the guy.
Love it for him.
I think we saw Evil Dead Rise, his last film. You can scroll back and search for that. I don't remember, it was a couple of years ago. And we thought it was very well made
Very
and
good.
interesting and really good, and we hated every minute of it.
It was so gory and gruesome and scary.
And nasty and
Why?
and awful.
And very, very well made. And
So why are we doing this?
Dave's the horror reviewer here, not me.
But
And
even then,
truly,
I struggled with that movie. It
there
was so
is nothing else out this week. I wanted to see You, Me in Tuscany, so we kind of looked and saw which movie's making more at the box office, because that's usually a good barometer as to like what our listeners would like. And this one was way higher. And like I really did admire his last film. I think it's really good, but like I'm kind of dreading it. Like I think it's a hard 18s, and I also
be
the
awful.
duration looks really, really long.
It's 2.5
So
hours
I'm a bit
long.
anxious about it. So we're going, it's actually, would you believe, the sunniest day of the year, and we are going to a 5 p.m. showing, walking in the sun.
Yeah, this isn't the vibe for
Not the
Lee
vibe.
Cronin's The Mummy.
But why
Although
is it called Lee Cronin's The Mummy? Tell us.
Well, I tried to find the answer, and if you know the answer on the internet, please message us, thecinemile@gmail.com. The best I could find, I found an interview with Lee Cronin in Variety, and they asked him straight up about this.
So weird.
And he said that James Wan, the famous horror producer, he's initially behind the Saw movies, came to him and said, "How would you feel about making a mummy movie?"
Mm-hmm.
And he said he was interested, and that's how this all came about. And then, so
he
it's
write
James
it?
Wan, it's Blumhouse, so it's Jason Blum. Yeah, he wrote and directed this. So this is very much his film. It's his stamp is all over it. And then
Yeah, but Amy Heckerling wrote and directed Clueless.
Oh,
It's
I
not
know,
called
I know,
Amy
I know.
Heckerling's Clueless.
I get it. But then all he says about it is James Wan asked him, "How do you feel about your name being above the title of the movie as part of the title?" And he said he didn't know how he felt about it, and he asked to take the weekend to think about it. And then he spoke to his long-term producer and a few other people about it, and they kind of felt, just go with it. But then he said everyone, his producer, his long-term producer started taking the piss out of him, he said. And anytime he would sit in a chair, he would say, "That's Lee Cronin's The Chair."
That's so funny. Like, I love it for him purely because he's Irish. If he was any other nationality, I would be ripping the piss out of it.
So I
But
can't...
I'm happy to see a nice Irish name up in the title
fine
of
Irish
a big
name.
blockbuster.
And I am happy for him too. I can't find the reason for it. There's nobody, as far as I can tell, has spoken publicly about the why of it. I suspect that it's because they want to, one, avoid confusion with the Brendan Fraser franchise, which during production of this, it was announced that there's a 4th one coming out. And New Line Cinema, who've made this movie...
Wait, I thought this was related to that.
Oh no, Cathy. Oh wow.
I thought this was either related to that or that horror franchise that kind of failed. Tom
The Dark
Cruise one.
Universe.
Yeah.
No.
It's not related to either, though.
No, this is just a brand new thing.
Okay, so this does sort of explain why. I mean, I still think it's absurd his name's on it, but I thought it was either to do with that or the Tom Cruise thing. I guess in fairness, his Evil Dead, was it his Evil Dead movie, the last one we saw?
Yeah.
That was so good that I do think for people who are into horror films, his name is a big sell. And actually, from when we were looking up the weekend box office, because we're going to see this on Monday now, like it did really well.
Yeah, and Evil Dead Rise made a lot of money and was critically successful. So yes, it warrants that. However, is he a household name after
Well,
Evil
he is
Dead
now.
Rise? He's not. So
Never
it's kind
has anyone's
but it's a
name.
bit cart before the horse, don't you
But
think?
never is anyone's name. Like, fine, I'd accept like Judy Garland's
The Mummy.
Wizard of Oz.
I'd
but,
watch
like,
Judy Garland's The Mummy.
It's very, like, unless you're like Scorsese or someone, like, I wouldn't expect to see a director's name up like that.
Yeah, so
but again, I'm delighted for him.
I speculate it's not down to Lee Cronin being a draw. It's down to I think they chose it to be a differentiator for whatever reason.
For me, it is a
behind the
draw
scenes.
though, because if you just told me this was a hard 18s horror film and you didn't tell me it was by the guy who I thought did a very good job of The Evil Dead, albeit it was too much for me, I probably wouldn't be going.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, yeah, it is a draw. Anyway, we need to go and bask in some sunlight before we enter this scary
Gloomy
world. I'm
2.5
actually dreading it now
hour,
because I think it's going to be really good, and I simultaneously think I'm going to hate it because I just don't like
I just feel
gory
like,
stuff.
No, I feel like I've lost my appetite for gory stuff, and I feel like I'm just going to be wincing and looking away
We
for
just
2.5
had a few great
hours.
weeks of films. It was a real dearth this week. And before anyone asks, no, we will not be watching the Michael Jackson movie next week. Hard no from us. So hopefully there'll be something else out, and if not, I will get my way and we will go to see Yumi and Tuscany.
I think I would have preferred to see
Yeah,
that
I think
tonight.
so
But
too.
here we are.
Here we
Lee
are.
Cronin's The Mummy. Let's go. We'll talk to you shortly.
Bye.
It's very important you fully prepare yourselves for what you're about to see. No sudden moves. No loud noises.
Hey, Butterfly. It's Mom and Dad.
Yeah, we are here. We're here.
She's been missing for 8 years.
What was our daughter doing in a 3,000-year-old sarcophagus?
She just needs our care and lots of love.
How many others were found?
57.
How many of them were still alive?
What happened to Katie? What really happened to her?
Saludo, Señor de los Milagros.
Say something.
Saludo, Señor de los Milagros.
Say something.
Puedes transformar lo imposible en realidad.
Say something.
Okay, hi, we're back and we've just seen Lee Cronin's The Mummy, and now I'm looking for Cathy Cullen's The Opinion. But first, of course, if it's your first time here at the Cinemile, we will not spoil the movie until we get to Spoiler Street. Cathy, what did you think of that?
So firstly, for fun, for our listeners to know, given that it was 5:30 on the hottest day of the year, there was no one in the screen except us.
Whole screen to ourselves.
Brilliant.
What a
Yeah,
treat.
we chatted through the whole thing.
We did.
Every now and then I was like, is there anyone else here that we're knowing? No, there isn't. It's
No,
very...
confirmed. I checked. I did a quick recce
No one
with the
there.
whole screen to ourselves.
Um,
What a thing.
It was
what
cool.
a beautiful thing.
It was really cool. It's
Private screening.
very long, but because of the time we went, I have to say, really enjoyed the length of it. I was very into the film.
So
I think
5:30 to 8 to 10 to 8. It's
Yeah.
10 to 8 now. The sun is still out.
the sun is still up.
Like, it feels like what a treat. We've the whole night ahead of us.
It is a treat. So I really enjoyed going to an earlier screening of it. I think if I'd gone to a later screening, I'd have been a bit impatient. So I do recommend people go as early as they can. I think he's a wonderful filmmaker. I think it's a very good film. I don't think it should have been an 18s. I don't understand why it's an 18s, to be honest. As somebody who's got
I don't agree.
I've got a low threshold for being scared, and I wasn't ever scared in this film. I had a really good time with it. I laughed out loud many, many, many times. I genuinely found it funny. And I think it was deliberately funny, I think. We forgot to mention on the way in that there's the lead male actor is the Irish actor
Jack Traynor.
Jack Traynor, who I really
Or
enjoy.
Rayner? Is it
Jack
Rayner or Traynor?
Jack Raynor.
It's Rayner or Traynor. 'Tis one of them.
Anyway, I really enjoyed him, and some of the movie was shot in Ireland, so thrilled for all that.
Yeah.
But just in general, I think he's a wonderful filmmaker. I think cinematically it looks gorgeous a lot of the time. I think he works so well with, like, the fact that he wrote it as well is so impressive. It was a great script. Dialogue's brilliant, characters are brilliant, actors were brilliant. I honestly had a really good time with it, and I enjoyed it much more than I did enjoy The Evil Dead. Dave, what about you? And I, by the way, really recommend it. But as I say, go to an early screening.
Just to pick up on your thing of like, should this be 18s or not? I don't think, like, you're judging it just on, was it scary? Did it scare you? That's
no,
not
even
how.
on gore, like, I would consider it like in Ireland we've a rating that's 16s. I know not all countries have it. I would have put this at a 16s.
I think it was incredibly disgusting.
Oh, it's
and
gross,
violent, and incredibly violent, and loads of gore. Like, that's what more do you want? For
I'm just
an
saying,
18
for
film?
me, it's a 16s gore.
But like, what's your threshold then for eight? What makes
film.
18? His last film. Okay, so this one was not as violent
Obviously,
as
it's
that one for
gross,
you.
like, and I looked away for loads of pieces. But I'm just saying, like, for people who may be concerned about the levels of scariness, it's just not that scary. I don't think.
I didn't. Okay, I'll say I did. I didn't. I liked this film a lot. I really enjoyed my experience. I think, as you said, the circumstances made the film even better. Like an early screening. I don't know, like, you can't help but love an early screening with the whole evening ahead, and it's still
And the
sunny
whole cinema
outside, and we
tours.
had the whole cinema.
But
tours
also,
up.
we went
Like,
to the early
great
screening
conditions.
because of the length of the film.
Yes,
Like,
true.
there's a reason we went for the early screening, so yeah.
So I didn't like it as much as you, which is surprising to me. I think there's a lot I like about this film. I agree with you. I think Lee Cronin is an incredibly good and competent horror filmmaker. He's got a great grasp on the moment where you're squirming in your seat waiting for something to happen. Him and whoever does his like sound design and the Foley mixing and, you know, all the little sound effects of like very, he knows how to play
sound was
with
so
your expectations of
gross.
like this, just like, but not even horror stuff, like some, you know, the way in The Substance, like Dennis Quaid eating prawns was one of the most gross things you've ever imagined, just because the squelching and the, like, there's moments here, no spoilers, but like somebody innocuously putting their contact lens in had me squirming from the beginning. Somebody, like, you know, just the most like minor little noises or movements. Like, he knows how to play with our feeling of unease, and he's got a great grasp on that. So he's got it for sure. I like, and there's enough sort of novelty in here with what we know of mummies and mummy lore.
Novelty on mummies.
There's a nice, he's constructed an interesting sort of story here. But my buts are, number one, I don't think I read in that Variety article that he said the mummy is not his thing. It didn't really strike him. Like, he said when Evil Dead came along, that was he's like, oh my God, he loved Evil Dead, and I think you can see that in Evil Dead Rise.
But also, sorry, like him and every teenage boy ever, do you know what I mean? I roll my eyes a bit at that.
Yeah, but sure, but every teenage boy ever couldn't just go out and make a brilliant Evil Dead film. He can and did. And
he's brilliant. I'm not saying he's not brilliant. I'm just like, I love the Evil Dead. It's like, okay, great.
No, allow me to make my point, which is, that is somebody, you could see the love and the passion and the knowledge he had for that franchise in that movie.
Yeah,
He said in the Variety article I read, that when James Wan came to him and said, how would you feel about making The Mummy? That he said he didn't have that spark. It's not his thing. And that's what made him do it, because he felt like that would be interesting to come at it without that excitement and that passion, and to present a challenge to himself. And I feel that is the problem with this movie, is that he's not... He has ended up making another Evil Dead movie. This film, and we'll talk about it in spoilers, as it went on, I started to despair a little, because I was like, oh no, Lee Cronin's The Mummy is Lee Cronin's The Evil Dead Rise The Mummy. It's the same movie. And
Meets The Exorcist.
There's a lot of Exorcist in here. There's a lot of The Evil Dead. And I just wish it had been more mummy. The mummy bits were interesting. And
I don't
they're
agree with you, 'cause
wrapped,
I thought
pun
the
intended, around
The mummy stuff
an
was
Evil
cool.
Dead film.
I like the mummy stuff. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, but it's not at this film's core. It didn't push any boundaries. It does feel like a lot of things I've seen already. I wasn't scared, like you said. I did have that sense of like ugh and
Yeah.
bleh. Very
and
good.
also
He's got
great
that
sense
down.
of like tension and foreboding.
Yeah, like he's got. I come back to my first point. He's got it. He
Yeah.
can do it. I just want to see him. Like, it's just disappointing to me that he took on this project with the aim of like, this is outside my comfort zone, and I'm going to do something different, and push myself. And he ended up retreating to the safety of what he already knows and has already done before, or at least that's how I feel.
I take your point, but like a lot of horror directors will do the same thing over and over again.
And that's
he's
fine
done
too.
Enough, like I'm very interested in his next project. I think what he does very well and has done very well in both of the films that we've seen he's made is family relationships, family dynamics, like drama. And I'd be very interested to see him making a non-horror actually, because he's a very like I think a lot of like the cinematography was very wonderful. I was really engaged with all the characters, very engrossed by their dynamics and even the settings and the places. I'd be really interested to see him doing something completely different actually, but I don't mind, and I'm like not really that into horror like you. I don't particularly mind those elements, but I was also at one point like, this is very like his old movie.
Yeah.
But I've no problem with that, to be honest.
But
I think we should go to spoilers though, should we?
I agree with you. He does. But that's another thing. It just felt like the same thing. It's like he's good at making you care for a family and then endangering them, and then that creates dramatic investment and suspense.
Yeah.
But like he did that in the last one. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like though, I do feel like he's very audacious to have made a film this long, and like every character we meet them very slowly. There's a lot of setup, but I was never bored with any of the setup because he's so atmospheric.
Yeah, I agree. I
think it's really up there, like very, very well made horror film.
I don't think this needed to be 2.5 hours long. I really don't.
But
And
like, no
and I
film
was
needs to
editing
be.
it because we were able to talk throughout the entire movie.
And we did.
And we did. And I was out loud, and this, I'm sure this was entertaining and enjoyable for Cathy.
It
I was
wasn't.
out loud editing the film as it was as it was happening, saying we didn't need that. You should have started this here.
Yeah, but I
and gone
disagreed
back.
with you, so it
You
is
did.
interesting.
No, and,
Yeah.
and that's fine. We disagreed.
'Cause
But to
normally
me,
I'm bored, but I really was never bored here.
to me, I don't disagree with you. Let me rephrase that. I agree with you. The film was not boring. It didn't feel too long as such.
Yeah.
But it is too long, and and could have been told
Sure.
in a much more effective way, which
But
would have brought more people in. Because looking at the running hour of a horror film at 2.5 hours, I'm like, come on, buddy.
It's difficult. Well, I wouldn't have shaved anything from the film because I think it really works. But from a distribution standpoint and from people's expectations, particularly around this genre, and from how many like tickets cinemas can sell as movies get longer, I'm surprised they let him make it this long. And by they, I mean like Blumhouse or whoever.
Well,
however,
go on.
I do think it shows their dedication to him as an
Yeah,
auteur
exactly.
and their confidence in him.
I mean, they're putting his name above the movie, so
And then when the title credits came up, it even more funnily said, is that a term? More funnily? Even funnier, it said, The Lee Cronin's Mummy.
yeah,
So
the way
they're,
they'd written it.
really
looked
played
weird.
around with his name
My
there.
favourite part of the film was when, at the very end, the credits came up, and it said, written and directed by Lee Cronin, and Cathy said to me, because we were the only people in there, she said, yeah, we know, Lee.
But you know what? I think it's cool. I very much admire this film.
No, I admired the film. I admire him,
audacious.
and I agree with you. I think the movie's length is another sign of confidence from James Wan and Jason Blum and Blumhouse and New Line. And I think New Line has always backed horror films and put out some really great ones over the years. And so I think it's great. I like that Lee Cronin got to make his 2.5 hour
Mummy opus.
version of The Mummy You know, it feels like very much it's his movie. There's no sign of like, you know, a compromised project here.
Exactly. Like, no, I put this to you in all seriousness. Do you think a woman who's directing her third directorial debut would get to make a film with this level of freedom and length? Because we found out after we saw The Bride, which, look, let's face it, we did not give a good review to. Apparently, Maggie Gyllenhaal was never left alone on the project.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was like incredible interference the whole time.
Oh, God.
And
because we thought it was.
We were
felt
like, it was such a mess.
Yeah.
And here's like, oh, you have a singular vision, we'll leave you alone. And it's just so fascinating to me how there's always such different treatment.
Oh, there's inherent misogyny in
even though like her
sure.
first film was such a huge hit and was Oscar nominated and all the rest of it. Anyway, will we go to spoilers for this that we both recommend and highly recommend an early screening?
Yeah, it's a good horror film.
Yeah.
It's a good time. I'm only and don't forget I started with praising this film. I had a great time. I think it's good. I think Lee Cronin is great. My only problems are with that. I felt like he's serving me more of the same when I felt like I was going to get something a real fresh take. You know,
it's definitely a fresh take on The Mummy, though, which we'll speak about now as we go to spoilers. So you may hear a quick break.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, we're going to go to spoilers now for Lee Cronin's The Mummy. But before we do, a quick shout out to some of our new patrons, over at patreon.com/the Cinemile, who have subscribed for the price of a cup of coffee a month to get access to hundreds of TV spoiler specials. We've lately covered Paradise. We're doing weekly episodes of For All Mankind. We do monthly retro movies that you get to vote on. This month we're going to be watching Jennifer's Body. So
it'll be a great watch after The Mummy.
Yes, it's in that vein. And you haven't seen it before, have you?
No.
Oh, exciting.
I can't wait.
Thank you for new members: Abigail H, Evan Murphy, Stephanie, Martin Miller, Hilary Johnston, Bronana, and Anne, and many more new subscribers who we will shout out at a later episode. And thank you to all our patrons for continuing.
All of them. And anyone
to
who's joined
support us.
on we are now also on Apple podcast subscriptions, so you don't have to go to Patreon if you can't be bothered. You can just in the Apple app subscribe. We don't get your names though, that's all anonymous, so thank you if you've joined. I want to shout out Evan because you know how he joined our Patreon. I forced Dave to watch Uglies on Netflix a year or two ago. And then Evan watched Uglies and he wanted to search and find a podcast that talked about it. And lo and behold, we were one of the few podcasts. So he followed us.
There's more than one?
And he is now, as far as we know, the first Uglies 2 patron listener. Any others out there, let us know.
Welcome, Evan.
Yeah.
It was all worth it watching
Uglies.
Uglies.
It was worth it. And I since read all 3 Uglies books and really enjoyed them.
Geez.
The first one's called Uglies. The second one's called Pretties. Can't remember what the third one was called.
The third one's called Uggos. The third one's called...
The third was called The Bold and the Beautiful. No, it wasn't. I can't remember.
Real hottie McNaughty
right,
title.
Anyway, spoilers for Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
Yeah.
I mean, huge parts of this movie are The Exorcist. And I don't mean that as a criticism. I'm not even saying it's derivative. It's obviously inspired by... And it was so funny. That's where all the comedy was. Like this girl is like a spider crawling around this house.
I disagree with you. What you said earlier. I don't think this film is intentionally funny. I think there's
to be.
No, I think there are moments when he is being funny, for sure. When
like
the
the
movie's
girl
being
like
funny.
gnawing on her own grandmother's corpse.
But
all that stuff was so silly.
I suppose, but I think that's part of a lot of the... I laughed a lot as well, but I think there's a difference between the film wants you to laugh and I'm laughing at the horror and absurdity of all this. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Like the grandmother reanimates, has no teeth because her teeth came out, which is kind of a gag.
Which, sorry,
has
is
her mouth
incredibly
open.
Evil Dead.
She's like a clown.
Too.
And then she's like to her son-in-law, Jack Rayner, want a piece of me?
Yeah.
And like that was very funny.
I just wish that the Mummy... All right, so when I was really on board with this movie for the first half, and then as soon as he got out the tape recorder with Professor Mummy face. You always have to have the scene.
You have to have a professor.
The scene in the excuse me, you're not one of my students.
This is archaeology 101.
I'm Albuquerque's foremost Egyptianologist, and so he's like, here, I'm going to play you a tape from 1923 that sounds ominous. Yeah, I loved it too in the movie Evil Dead Rise, which had the same bloody thing. See, you don't remember anything.
Spoiler, I think we're going to have to put a spoiler warning in here for Evil Dead Rise, okay?
That's not a spoiler,
Dave,
that there's a tape.
Dave, I'm just saying, I do think we're going to have to put a spoiler in for Evil Dead Rise. So if you've
seen Lee Cronin's The Mummy, you've seen Evil Dead Rise.
But the spoiler,
because it's so the same.
Pause for a second.
Okay. Go on.
If somebody wants to not hear us comparing this film to Evil Dead Rise, you'll have to go off, watch that, and come back.
That's
okay?
fair.
I think that's fair.
I'm not going to give too much specifics on Evil Dead Rise,
let's
but
put it
I will
this way,
call out
it's the same
commonalities. So there's that. As soon
Evil Dead
as
Rise,
that,
but with the Exorcist.
Exactly. And then it was like, and then the guy's like, turns out this old Egyptian guy was a deadite who infects people and jumps from person to person and makes them say crazy shit and is really rude and naughty. And I'm like, oh no. It's
I had forgotten the other film, but as this stuff was going on, I was like, wait a second, I remember something about a record player.
Yeah.
And a kid trapped in a basement.
It was
and
some
sort
same.
of a creature. So yeah,
and then every family member slowly turning on each other and doing disgusting things. Like that's the last movie.
Yeah, it's very like the last movie. Albeit I found the last movie much more disturbing. And have I turned into a cynical old bitch, or is this film less disturbing? I don't know the answer.
I think Evil Dead Rise is more effective at these things that he did personally.
Or no, but I don't know. I don't think that's possibly correct to say, because I don't think he was trying to make this film as scary. I said to you at the beginning of this film, I think this film was going to have a nice ending.
Yeah, I gotta say, you called it.
It just had a different vibe.
It has a happy ending.
Yeah, I mean, somewhat. Somewhat. So,
well, come on. Would you have seen that Katie is going to be okay?
I thought they were going to cure Katie, because as soon as the Morse code stuff happened,
I liked the Morse code.
I was like, okay, so Katie is a way out. She's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I just felt like, why would you set that up? And again, I can't remember the last film to remember if there was any sort of setup, but I just really felt like Katie's gonna be okay, and I had that right up and towards the end where I was like, okay, she's killed her own grandmother.
And I'm glad
now, I'm not
was.
Sure.
I liked the ending.
I liked the daughter who served excellent cunt and was like, you're a rat-faced cunt.
Yeah.
And was pulling her own teeth out. See, that's all silly. Like that was not serious. Like, that was not a film trying to traumatize us. Like, that was a film having the crack.
I suppose, yeah.
I just think it's a different
It was
vibe.
good crack.
Yeah.
It was good crack. I don't know.
The start was very upsetting.
The toenail leg pull
unreal.
Was horrible. Yeah. That got me good.
Disgusting.
And then I really liked the writing, then him discovering the writing on the inside of her flesh, which was actually like bandages that had been bound up as part of her flesh. Like that, I think, is the movie's most interesting twist on the idea of the mummy, that the bandages
really cool.
are the protective writing, and that they were secretly joined up with her flesh. Like, that's really interesting, and I haven't seen that before.
That was very cool. I mean, there's too much to get into because we're talking about a 2.5 hour movie here. I think the original scenes with the daughter, the family, just even the opening of that family in that car, and then your one coming for the daughter in the garden, giving her all the candy bars, horrifying stuff.
Yeah.
Very well done.
That was the scariest bit.
Yeah.
Like I find missing children stuff.
But because
really
I knew she
watch.
was later going to be turned into a mummy, because obviously that's the premise of the film, I was a little bit removed from it. Like, I'm a bit removed when it's supernatural. It
I
wouldn't
agree.
Scare me the way. Like, remember there was that James Nesbitt show called The Missing?
Yeah,
we just stopped watching
couldn't watch it
because it was so upsetting. But this is like she's gonna be turned into a mummy. Like,
but then
all the candy bar stuff. Like, actually, at no point in the rest of the film though did the parents ever supervise their children.
No, exactly. And their children are upstairs banging their heads off things, ripping their own teeth out, and they're downstairs being like,
watching a VHS.
We have a visitor. Let's all sit down and watch this video. Like, I'm sorry, what was going on there?
Yeah.
The obviously we, the audience, have to watch the tape, but the detective in Cairo, and I liked
love
all
her.
that stuff,
Yeah, she
and I
was
liked her
cool.
going to the farm, and I liked the journalist and the mystery uncovering stuff. I thought it was
Mm-hmm.
well done, and it's probably why the film is so long, because it's kind of has to do all that stuff as well.
Yeah.
But I liked all that. I liked her. But then when she gets to the house, she knows there's a demon upstairs. She knows everyone is in imminent danger. She's like, let me sit you down and watch this video.
But maybe
I'm like,
see the thing is, I think she maybe thinks that at this point, Katie's still just a shut in, and the family. She doesn't know what deep shit the
how about
family
you
are
check?
in.
How
No,
about
but
you
they
lead-
should say to her, no, sorry, I was actually just in the middle of tranquilizing Katie. She's currently levitating in a wheelchair upstairs, and she just murdered her grandmother.
So this woman, the Egyptian
doing the
cop,
right thing.
she arrives at their house with all the necessary information. She has it all. So instead of being like, listen, you trust me, right? Do you trust me right now? There's some weird shit going on, and this is what we need to do. Jack Rayner, who's been on this whole journey, is not going to be like, you're a crazy person, there's no such thing. He's going to be like, yeah, that checks out, because I've been
Dave,
talking
she
to
didn't have a
Albuquerque's
plan, though.
foremost Egyptologist.
She didn't have a plan. She was just like, I need you to see this tape. Like, in fairness, she does not know what to do with this information, as I wouldn't. It's Jack Rayner who then comes up with the plan that he will absorb the spirit. And I think it was so funny when you're
But come on, she needed to do
Okay,
something
but
with
come
more
on, you're
than
nitpicking.
like.
But like, when there's a scene where someone pushes their own vocal cords back into their throat.
Oh, that was great.
To do an incantation.
Brilliant.
To like make a mummy transfer from bile from one person to the
That was
next.
so good. And
I'm
also,
down
sorry,
with that.
the bit before that where when the granny forces the scorpion into her mouth, and then the scorpion starts forcing its way out her throat.
All
That's
the
great.
stuff with the granny made me laugh so much. I really thought, like, what a
The
role.
funeral was excellent.
What a role for that actress.
Yeah, what a funeral.
Yeah, what a funeral, what a role.
Katie coming down through the ceiling, fantastic.
Like,
By
Katie
the
coming
way,
out of the ceiling was hilarious.
the actress that played Katie was excellent.
So good,
We're
yeah.
talking Megan
Yeah, there was
2.0
Megan vibes
level
off her, yeah.
actressing like that, and she has a really interesting face, and I mean that in the best way possible. So, you know, she just has very interesting facial features.
Well,
Do you
I'd
know the way
say
Anya
one of the
Taylor-Joy
reasons-
has
yeah,
kind of wide
same thing,
set
wide
eyes.
set
and-
eyes, yeah. Very unusual to have eyes that
but
wide set.
it really added to the the makeup effect. I
Yeah.
mean, great, the makeup effects in this movie are excellent.
I just think once your dad's peeling your skin off and putting it under a microscope, like something's gone wrong in your family.
How about when she goes to the brother? This is great as well. When she goes, come in here and help me get undressed. And then we knew straight away that skin was coming off. And he's just like gleefully pulling off the skin like it's gross.
Yeah.
And then Cathy's over here being like, 16-year-olds should see this.
I still don't see it as an 18. Like, I practically view this film as like a farce.
Didn't you get classification training in Australia?
I
like, aren't
did.
you like licensed to
Licensed to thrill.
classify films?
In Australia, I did classification training.
Yeah.
13 years ago, so I really wouldn't say I'm qualified, but and they've different ratings than us.
Well, I wouldn't say you're
But
qualified either.
They have R ratings and different things. I don't know what this would be over there, but I would put this as a 16s. Personally,
I think it's
if my 12-year out-of-date classification in a different continent applied here.
I think this is a straight up hard PG. Like, you know your kids, parents, you know.
No, it would be an awful thing for a child to see, like
God, yeah,
truly
awful,
awful.
yeah.
I think the girl playing the young 6-year-old,
she was
7-year-old,
excellent.
she was so
She was very good.
Good. She was like precocious.
I felt like the older teenager got short shrifted as
The
a
boy.
as a character. Like, he didn't really get to do much.
No, but like, Jesus Christ, like he was peeling his sister's skin off and going through crawl
I
spaces.
suppose.
What else do you want from him?
Yeah.
I
He
think we
got to
better
do
go.
that.
Thank you for listening. Come over to Patreon or Apple Podcast subscriptions to hear us review Jennifer's Body. We're going to watch it this week. I can't wait to watch it now. Just in the mood for body horror, you know? And of course, our For All Mankind reviews and all the other TV we're watching, which we're going to be talking about, including Beef Season 2, the new season of Hacks, and loads of other things. So thanks for listening.
Yeah, a lot of good TV out at the moment. And of course, you can always email us, theCinemile@gmail.com, or you can chat to us on Instagram.
Sure, yeah, at the Cinemile. And of course, review wherever you listen, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else. We would greatly appreciate a 5-star review. It costs you nothing, but it means a lot to us.
And thank you for listening to Dave, Corkery and Cathy Cullen's The Cinema.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.